Ready to get back going?
Yeah!
Oh, there you are. Folks, he comes to us from Portland, Oregon. Put your hands together for Noah Linsk.
So my therapist asked me if I've been having any paranoid thoughts lately. Yeah, as if I'm going to tell that CIA son of a bitch anything. I'm a little bit concerned about the first two guys in the Superman spotting sequence. By that I mean first the guy who goes, "Look, up in the sky, it's a bird!" Because like Metropolis is a city, you know, he's got to be doing that all day. It's got to be like, "Look, up in the sky, it's a bird! Look, up in the sky, it's another bird!" But like, a bird guy alone will not fully ruin your public transportation experience. No. That is a job for plane guy. And plane guy, we all know plane guy. Plane guy is the guy who sees the guy yelling at birds and says, "Nah, I can't allow this. I gotta correct bird guy. I gotta let bird guy know what's what. He says, 'You idiot, that's not a bird, it's a plane.'" First of all, let him be wrong. I mean, and then to be wrong yourself when Superman guy comes in, how embarrassing is that? I mean, my God, and if you're Superman guy and you see Superman flying around, you should let people know, you know? Buildings are about to start falling on their heads, but Superman guy is a hero. But the thing is, plane guy thinks he's Superman guy. As a matter of fact, plane guy will never not believe that he is Superman guy. And the reason why I know this is, and I didn't want to have to admit this to you all, but I am myself a recovering plane guy. And I say recovering, I'm in recovery, you know? Some part of me will always be a plane guy, and I accept that, you know? But like, you know, like I get my 30-day shift, you know? I do get tested sometimes. I was having a conversation with a guy about how after FDR died in the middle of his fourth term, how the Congress had to come in and put term limits on presidents. And the guy I'm talking to says, actually, that was Teddy Roosevelt. And I felt it welling up in my chest, this feeling of this, it's a plane! But I didn't. I let him be wrong. Yes, I was so proud of myself. I mean, technically what I said was, well, you're welcome to look it up, which, you know, maybe not so much personal growth as it is just like learning a little bit of passive aggressiveness, but, you know, the first step is admitting that you have a problem, so I think I'm in good shape. Anyway, I'm Jewish, which I don't look super Jewish, so I have to say that I'm Jewish before I do Jewish material, you know? The alternative, obviously, is to go the Tucker Carlson route and say international bankers. Do you ever hang out with your international banker friends and you're trying to go out to a restaurant, but everyone has 6 different dietary restrictions and nobody can agree on a place to go? It's too much with the international bankers, I tell you. Or like, you ever notice how international bankers will put way too much sugar in the Manischewitz? Right? That one I should explain. Manischewitz is a specific brand of the blood of Christian babies. And it's much too sweet. It's a real problem. I don't know. I saw a billboard the other day. It said, "What if Jesus was aborted?" Which, like, great question, right? Because 3 days later, what happens? You know, it could be like the cave was empty in the morning situation, but I'm picturing more of like a blood-splattered fetus Jesus just chest-burstering out of Mary's abdomen and immediately ascending to heaven. All right, you can't be mad at me for this one, you know? This joke's not even offensive, that's just efficient, you know? What if Jesus was aborted isn't even a good anti-choice slogan. That's just like if the writers of the New Testament would have come to me for notes. I would have told them, you guys are wasting a bunch of time in the middle with all this alive Jesus shit, all right? What if we got it done in one scene? What if we made it like a zine? It's going to be huge. What if Jesus was aborted? But nobody listens to me. It's real sad. I saw a guy with a tattoo on his bicep that said Leviticus 18:22, which is the verse that reads, "You shall not lie with a man as you would with a woman, for that is despicable." Which made me think, because like getting a tattoo about gay sex, it's got to be about the gayest thing possibly do. Really, but it made me, I want to get a tattoo now. It's going to say Leviticus 19:28, the verse which reads, "You shall not cut your flesh for the dead or make any tattoo marks upon your body. I am the Lord!" That last part is in all caps, and that's why I had to say it that way. God is such a boomer, right? Like putting random parts of his sentences in all caps. I mean, he's back for God, I guess. I don't know. I got pulled over on my way to work recently, and the cop says to me, he says, "Hey, I'm going to let you go because you're on your way to work and nobody wants to work anymore." He says to me, "Nobody wants to work anymore." And I said to him, "Well, you could get a real job." I didn't say that. Obviously, I didn't say that. You know, no. I gave him the white people secret handshake and he let me go. And the white people secret handshake, for those of you who are wondering, is when one person goes for a handshake and the other person goes for a fist bump. I tried to turn it into a high five, but I ended up settling for a one-armed hug. So that felt good. I don't know. I'm in a relationship now, which is good for me. Being single was tough for me. Being on Tinder was not good. My Tinder bio read IDK, just looking for someone to validate my personhood by finding me sexually attractive, but like in a well-adjusted way. And for some idea of how Tinder was going for me, I matched with a woman and she says to me like, "Hey, is it cool if I bring some Magic the Gathering cards on our Tinder date and we can play Magic?" And the reason why that's bad, I should explain, Magic the Gathering is the heroin of nerd shit. Because I know, because it's going to be done, because I know I'm going to get addicted right away, it's going to eat up most of my money, and it's going to be primarily done in cramped rooms full of unwashed men. But I was so lonely that I was fine with that. So understand, this is like if one of you was to match with someone on Tinder and she's going to be like, "Hey, is it cool if I bring some heroin on our Tinder date and we can like get a coffee and shoot up together?" And you're like, "Yeah, go for it, you know?" But fortunately, she ghosted me. Might have saved my life, I tell you. Because you know, dating is hard for me. I don't need to overshare here. I'm into some kinkier stuff sexually. I like to go home with a girl, you know, tie her to the bed, blindfold her, put her laptop in my backpack, leave. Yeah, I was talking to a woman. She says to me, "Are you okay? You're being really quiet." And I was like, "Oh God, quiet's not okay. I'm not allowed to be quiet now." And so I said to her, and apparently that's not what she was looking for either. So I just don't understand women, man. I tell you, do we think that people who work in shoe stores are foot fetishists? Like not all of them, obviously, but not 0%. I mean, actually, if I'm being honest with you, if I'm managing a shoe store, I'm exclusively hiring foot fetishists. Because you think about it, right? They're going to be thorough, you know? They'll probably work for less. It's capitalism, you know? We got to think about these things. But most importantly, I know that they're going to enjoy their work more. And I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather work with a happy foot fetishist than with a sad person who I don't know what their kink is. Yeah. Anyway, my phone is spying on me all the time. I hate it. It's getting to the point where I can't even make an innocent joke about bombing a federal building without getting these targeted ads for ammonium nitrate.